Alright, happy coffee and plant time, everyone. This is going to be my first legit YouTube video, so we'll see how this goes. My name is Jason, and this is my plant loft. But to start with, we're going to be making DIY self-watering moss poles. Now, I use 3 different parts from the hardware store. PVC. You can either buy the pre-cut sections or get the bigger pieces, which is cheaper, and cut it yourself. A T and 2 plugs. I like making it into a T shape like this, so more stability in the pot. And all you have to do, you don't have to glue it. You're just going to do press fittings. They go in, nice and tight. Put the top on, and that's it. Next, you need wicking cord, which is basically just like cotton cord. And what you do is you need it to be able to go down to the bottom and then come back around again, so you can loop it around like this. The way I do it is I tie a knot in the bottom. You just put it down the tube, and it literally just falls right down all the way to the bottom. And then what I do is I take a zip tie, and you just kind of go around the edge of the zip tie like this, and this just holds it in place so you don't lose it. And then these you can just let hang down like this, or you can spiral them like these two. And if you want to put more cords in, so you have, rather than just 2 strands, you could do it with 3 or 4. I found 2 or 3 is as much as I need. Now, the next thing you need is this stuff. Now, you can get at the hardware store. It's called plastic chicken wire. I bought mine off Amazon. Basically, it's just same thing you'd use on like knitting material. So you need a piece like that. You need it to be the same size from the base of the T-fitting to just about the top of where you're gonna put the water in. Next, you're gonna take sphagnum moss, and you put a good amount down. You don't want to be too thick. And I cut these so that when it goes around the tube, it just touches. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Now I'm using an inch tube here, an inch diameter PVC pipe. The other 2 I was showing you before is a 1/2 inch and a 3/4. It all depends on what size plant you want to have, and mostly how much of a reservoir you want to have. Now this is pre-soaked sphagnum moss. Don't use the stuff from like the craft store. You want real sphagnum moss. You can get it on Amazon. It's been hard to find in stores lately, but I ordered this actually from Josh's Frogs. It was the best price I could find. I ordered a 10-pound bale, which was huge and should last me for a little while. So you kind of make like a nest like this, just like that. You're gonna start at the top. You're gonna put a little bit down. Now, zip ties are our friends with this project. You can do it with like twine or jute twine, like this stuff, but it's more of a pain in the butt. It might look a little prettier, but it won't hold up as well. So you start at the very top with the zip line, the zip tie, and you just kind of go like this. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm using my iPhone, so it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing in the video. And make it tight. And then basically what we do is about every inch, we're going to put a zip tie. And as you do it, it's going to ratchet it closed. Then you just keep adding a little bit. You don't need a lot of moss. A little bit of moss down the center. And you're just going to zip tie it. And I'm going to do this from scratch with you guys. You can see how quick it is to make these. If I wasn't trying to, walk and chew gum at the same time here, they take about 3 to 4 minutes to make one from scratch. And the cool thing is with these is you can make them any size you want. These are, each of these ones I was showing you are 30 inches. But you can make them, I'm making some for a Monstera Deliciosa that's going to be 5 feet. And you can make them as wide as you want too. So these are, this one's an inch, you could do a 1.5 inches, a 2 inch, as big a pipe as you want. You just have to remember when you add the moss to it, it tends to get thicker. So you can see this is an inch, but it's not that big around now. So if you do with a 2-inch pipe, you're going to probably end up with like a 4-inch moss pole, which would probably have a lot of water capacity because of the diameter of the pipe, but it'd be kind of hard to put it in a, you know, a 6-inch or 8-inch pot. Now the cool thing about these ones is, and the reason I put the T in the bottom, is that if you have a pot that has multiple holes in the bottom, you can literally zip tie this to the middle of the pot. You can also, if it's a plastic pot, I've done it with my clear plastic pots, the square ones I like. Drill 2 little small holes in the back of the pot and zip tie this right to the pot. Because if you have a 2 or 3 foot tall moss pole hanging out of a pot with a plant on it, it can tend to be top heavy. So I tend to put these in the bottom of a pot with a good amount of leca. You could use gravel. I like leca because I have it. And then you kind of nuzzle this in there. If you can attach it to the pot, great. If you can't, I have them with some attached, some not attached, and I've had good luck with both versions. But as you can see, it's once you get going, it's really, really straightforward. Now what you can do is when you have the chicken wire like this, the plastic stuff, you can kind of cut it to see how much it'll go around and how much moss you can be able to hold. Now you don't have to have all these little puckers, see how it kind of comes out. Don't go crazy trying to get those all like seamed up, otherwise you're going to use a million zip ties. It's not going to open up now. And then with the zip ties, I always just put those facing the back of the pot. So if you noticed, I put the T, the zip ties, so I have a clear front and back of the moss pole. Now the front looks nice and tight, and all you have to do to fill it is you fill it with, oh, I have some water, excellent. You just put the water in there, and you basically just fill it up until it comes up the top. Now this is the inch version, and I've measured it. It'll hold 2 cups of water. The 1/2 inch one only holds about 3/4 of a cup, and the 3/4 inch holds about a cup and a little bit. Now obviously if you make them longer or shorter, it varies. Now the cool thing with these is that because the wicking cord goes all the way down to the bottom, this will actually water the pot too. So your plants will root into this, as well as every time you top off the top, it waters the plant. So like you don't have to water the plant's base much, especially if this is very deep into this gravel. So just real quick, different kinds of pots. This is like the plastic kind at the bottom, or a more fancy pot. Either way, you can put this in there, and like, I don't know if you can see that or not, but the T makes it so that it sits nice and flat. When you put leca in, it won't move too much. With these kind of pots, like I said, you can either drill a couple holes back here and zip tie it, or you could drill a couple small holes in the bottom and zip tie it, because this probably weighs 3 or 4 pounds. It's pretty hefty, and it's top heavy until you put all your gravel and your dirt in there. But this is a DIY self-watering moss pole. As you saw, it took me maybe 3 minutes to do it. It's super easy, and please let me know if you have any questions. Bye.